'cause I insist. Somewhere, somehow, someone's gonna get kissed. So on guard, who knows what the fates have in store from their vast, mysterious sky. I'll try hard, ignoring those lips I adore. But how long can anyone try? Fight, 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 fight it with all of our might. Chances are some heavenly star-spangled night we'll find out as sure as we live. Something's gotta give, something's gotta give, something's gotta give.
Good work, human. Who knows? It might stay abandoned, get used as a base for raiders, or even become another colony for mutants. The future is not written, human, and it is foolish to squint at what cannot be seen. I still have a job to do here. Some mutants may have heard Tabitha's broadcast and are headed here even as we speak. I'll remain and direct anyone who show up toward Jacobstown, where they'll be much better off.
this like 3 times over.
I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Blue moon, now I'm no longer alone. Without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, now I'm no longer alone. Without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. New Vegas here. You're all so great, and we're gonna keep you listening all day. This just in. Listeners have been unable to pick up radio broadcasts from Black Mountain recently. Most are calling the static, quote, a welcome improvement. In other news, Prim formally sworn a new sheriff today. RNV reporters were on hand to hear the new sheriff address the crowd.
People of Prim, the NCR wishes to inform you that you are under their jurisdiction now. And from now on, you're going to be living by our rules.
And that's the news. Got a song for you now. It's about a guy who's cold on the exterior, but deep down, you know, he's a good man. And his name is Johnny Guitar.
Play the guitar, play it again, my Johnny. Maybe you're cold, but you're so warm inside. I was always a fool for my Johnny, for the one they call Johnny Guitar. Play it again, Johnny Guitar. What if you go? What if you stay? I love you. What if you're cruel? You can be kind.
Hey there, need anything?
There was never a man like my Johnny, like the one they call Johnny Guitar.
What can I do for you? Are you sure?
There was never a man like my Johnny, like the one they call Johnny Guitar. Play it again, Johnny Guitar.
folks, it's Mr. New Vegas, and I have a good feeling about all of you listening. For you. Tensions are brewing in Freeside between the ruling gang known as the Kings and the large number...
Welcome to Repcon headquarters, Rocketeer. Come all this way to see our little facility, have you? I'm here to answer any and all questions you may have, within specified parameters. And if you'd like, I can provide a tour of our museum. I can answer whatever questions you'd like, provided your query is limited to Repcon history, research and development, or Robco. Repcon's illustrious history began way back in 2054, shortly after the famous Delta 11 rocket was completed and launched. Repcon's initial focus was on the development of fuel to be used in orbital propulsion in response to the energy crisis of 2052. Sad times indeed. The company really took off when Robco purchased Repcon in late 2076 to develop unmanned rockets to explore the solar system. Very well. The tour showcases Repcon's amazing...
Love me as though there were no tomorrow. Take me out of this world tonight.
Hello. Please remember visiting hours are from 10 a.m. until 5...
Take me, make me forget my sorrow. So when I wake tomorrow, I'll know our love was right. Kiss me as though it were now or never.
How may I serve you, Master?
Teach me all that a heart should know. Love me as though there were no tomorrow. Oh, my darling, love me. Don't ever let me go. Love me as though there were no tomorrow. Oh, my darling, love me. Don't ever let me go.
Goodbye, Rocketeer. Be sure to visit again. Oh. And please, for your own safety, stay outside.
Just as a warning, my covert bandaging skills are a little rusty.
Invalid facial pattern detected.
Sure, just don't treat me like a pack Brahmin, okay?
You know, I tried to measure my charisma on a Vitomatic vigor tester once. The machine burst into flames. Whoops, better put on my newsman fedora here. A package courier found shot in the head near Good Springs has reportedly regained consciousness and made a full recovery. Now that's a delivery service you can count on. Also, scavengers report hulking individuals moving around Hidden Valley after dusk, but have been unable to identify them due to low visibility. Today's headlines were brought to you by Prim. Prim, the other New Vegas. Got some songs coming up for you right now. At least one is probably about love.
Just everything to be my own true love.
Hello, Mrs. Millett. I hope you have an excellent... Of course. Don't let me keep you.
to be just everything to be my own true love. If this is a dream, let me keep on dreaming. Where have you been all my life? Just lay down your weary head. Dream, sweetly dream. Dream about tomorrow instead. Sweet, go to sleep. Whispering a lullaby too. Dream, sweetly dream. Swinging with the man in the room. Why don't you go and take it slow? And don't you know all your lovely dreams will come true? So just close your eyes. Listen to a sweet lullaby. Sleep softly, sleep, and let the world go by.
Of course. Don't let me keep you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. New Vegas. Thank you very, very much for listening. It's just about time to get you some news. Good Springs has fended off a mob of escaped convicts after organizing an impromptu militia. This according to an old man armed to the teeth with dynamite. In other news, scavengers report hulking individuals moving around Hidden Valley after dusk, but have been unable to identify them due to low visibility. That's the news. This is Mr. New Vegas.
Hello, Mrs. Millet.
For Mr. New Vegas. And now, Nat
Sure,
King
just don't treat me like a pack
reminding us
Brahmin,
what
okay?
really matters with Love Me As Though There Were No Tomorrow. Because in New Vegas, hey, you never know.
Love me as though there were no tomorrow.
Take me out of this world tonight. Take me, make me forget my sorrow. So when I wake tomorrow, I'll know our love was right. Kiss me as though it were now or never.
Third floor access is for executives.
Teach me.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
That a heart should know. Love me as though there were no tomorrow. Oh, my darling, love me. Don't ever let me go.
It's me again, Mr. New Vegas, reminding you that you're nobody till somebody loves you. And that somebody is me. I love you. Whoops, better put on my newsman fedora here. Good Springs has fended off a mob of escaped convicts after organizing an impromptu militia. This according to an old man armed to the teeth with dynamite. In addition, refugees at Bitter Springs are giving startling accounts of the legate known as Lannius, who is said to be Caesar's top field commander. One refugee told us the legate took over an underperforming squad of troops by beating its commander to death in full view of everyone. The legate then ordered a tenth of his own force be killed by the other 9/10. And you thought your boss was a pig. Mojave? Mo problems. Am I right? And now, I'd like to play one of my very favorite songs for you.
Third floor access is for exec. Thank you. Hello, Mrs. Millet. I hope...
Sure, just don't treat me like a pack Brahmin, okay?
There'll be no wedding bells for today. 'Cause I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle, jingle, jangle, as I go riding merrily along. And they sing, oh, ain't you glad you're single? Jingle, jangle, and that song ain't so very far from wrong. Oh, Lily Bell, oh, Lily Bell, though I may have been some fooling, this is why I never fell. I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle, jingle, jangle, as I go riding merrily along. They sing, oh, ain't you glad you're single? Jingle, jangle, and that song ain't so very far from wrong.
Goodbye, Rocketeer. Be sure to visit again. Oh, and please, for your own safety, stay outside of restricted areas.
Oh, I got spurs that jingle,
I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle, as I go riding merrily along. And they sing, oh, ain't you glad
and
you're
that
single?
song ain't so very far
And that
from
song ain't so
wrong.
very far from wrong.
Oh, Lily Bell, though I may have done some fooling, this is why I never I got spurs that jingle,
I got spurs that jingle,
as
jangle,
I
jingle,
go riding merrily
as I go
along.
riding merrily along.
Oh,
And they sing, oh, ain't you glad
and
you're
that
single?
song ain't so very far
And that
from
song
wrong.
ain't so very far from wrong.
Sure, just don't treat me like a pack Brahmin, okay?
I'm not standing here because I'm overburdened with emotion. Take some of this stuff off me so I can move a little more easily.
Sure, just don't treat me like a pack Brahmin, okay?
good feeling about all of you listening. We've got some news for you coming right up. The influx of displaced residents to the refugee camp at Bitter Springs has caused a strain on rations there. NCR officials are asking for donations. In addition, Prim formally sworn a new sheriff today. RNV reporters were on hand to hear the new sheriff address the crowd.
People of Prim, the NCR wishes to inform you that you are under their jurisdiction now. And from now on, you're going to be living by our rules.
That's the news. This is Mr. New Vegas filling in for Mr. New Vegas. You're gonna love this next song, I guarantee it.
Sleep, go to sleep. Just lay down your weary head. Dream, sweetly dream.
You're being watched, so don't get any ideas.
Sleep, go to sleep. Whispering a lullaby tune. Dream, sweetly dream. Swinging with the man in the moon.
When Paladin Ramos informed me that Veronica was approaching with an outsider in tow, at first I didn't know what to think. After giving the matter some thought, however, I've decided that an outsider could be of use to me right now. However, I will not force you to help us. Should you refuse, you will be allowed to leave here, though you'd remain Veronica's responsibility. What do you say, outsider? Are you willing to help us? Then allow me to explain our situation. This bunker is currently locked down, allowing no entry or exit, with you being one of the few exceptions. In exceptional cases, teams are sent out to investigate sites or retrieve materials deemed too important to ignore. 3 such teams have gone missing recently, and the news of their disappearance has not yet been widely spread to avoid undue concern. In order to maintain the peace and adhere to the strictures of the lockdown, I need to send someone else to discover what happened to them. The less who are aware of this situation, the better. My brothers and sisters were deeply traumatized by the losses we incurred several years ago. It would be imprudent to worry them unduly without first discovering the facts of the situation. I suppose I am not surprised. We have few friends in the world above, and many enemies. But we must turn our minds to other matters. When I sent out those patrols, I also sent 3 knights out on scouting missions. When the patrols failed to return, we assumed the worst, and sent a single communication to the scouts to hold position and maintain radio silence. I want you to contact those scouts and gather their reports. Like the patrols, they have devices on them that will enable you to track them. When you find them, tell them you're my representative and ask them if the bears are still hunting. That should get them to talk to you. Return when you've gathered all of their reports.
I'll try hard, ignoring those lips I adore.
So, you're the outsider that's been given leave to wander around freely. Desperate times call for desperate measures, I guess. Name's Hardin. I'm the head paladin of this chapter, and I think we might be able to help each other out. I don't know what the Elder talked to you about, but I can tell you this chapter is in trouble, and he's at the center of it. Are you willing to listen to what I have to say? As you may have already heard, this entire base is under a state of lockdown. No one goes out except small patrols at night. Most of the chapter has been sealed in here for years, and those few who were outside when the lockdown was initiated are forbidden from returning. Morale has plummeted as time has gone by, and many of our current paladins haven't seen combat outside of training simulations, and all because of the Elder's explicit order that no one be allowed in or out. The only way things will change is if a new Elder is installed. Of course I have, many times in fact. The Elder has an open-door policy and will listen to advice on any subject save this one. He refuses to see that our isolation is slowly weakening us. Aside from being our duty, going out on missions is what kept us strong. And because he fails to see that, he must be replaced. I would. I'm the senior-most paladin in the chapter, and have more combat experience than any two others here put together. I'd gladly support another candidate, but no one has the courage to step forward and make the attempt, so it falls to me. I would put this chapter back on the right path, if I could just assume leadership. I half expected you to say that. In which case, I'll continue to pursue the matter on my own. Should you continue dealing with the Elder and find yourself beginning to see my point of view, I'll be around.
It's me again, Mr. New Vegas, reminding you that you're nobody till somebody loves you, and that somebody is me. I love you. This just in. Listeners have been unable to pick up radio broadcasts from Black Mountain recently. Most are calling the static quote a welcome improvement. In other news, tensions are brewing in Freeside between the ruling gang known as the Kings and the large number of NCR squatters seeking refuge there. The leader of the Kings, who would only identify himself as the King, voiced his displeasure, calling NCR citizens, quote, the devil in disguise. He added he didn't want to see...
The word came down from the Elder that I'm to offer you some...
...call for a mass, quote, return to sender. That's the news. This is Mr. New Vegas filling in for Mr. New Vegas. More classics coming right up for you, so stay tuned.
To the town of our free rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. The stranger
Sure, just don't treat me like a pack Brahmin, okay?
Big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from each lip. And he's here to do some business with the big iron on his hip. Big iron
Sure, just don't treat me like a pack Brahmin, okay?
In this town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red.
Hi there. Looking to spend some...
Many men had tried to take him, and that many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, though a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 in 19 more. 1 in 19 more. Now the stranger started talking, made it plain to folks around. Was in Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back alive or maybe dead. And he said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red.
Another satisfied...
After Texas Red. Wasn't long before the story was relayed to Texas Red. But the outlaw didn't worry, men that tried before were dead. 20 men had tried to take him, 20 men had made a slip. 21 would be the ranger with big iron on his hip. The morning passed so quickly, it was time for them to meet. It was 20 past 11 when they walked out in the street. Folks were watching from the windows, everybody held their breath. They knew this handsome ranger was about to meet his death. About to meet his death. There was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make their play. And the swiftness of the ranger is still talked about today. Texas Red had not cleared leather for a bullet fairly ranger's aim was deadly with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. It was over in a moment and the folks had gathered round. There before them lay the body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have went on living, but he made one fatal slip when he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. Big iron, big iron. When he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip.
What do you want? And don't try anything funny.
Play the guitar. Play
You
it
speak
again.
truly, for it is unlikely that an outsider would know both the Elder's name and that passphrase. Very well. I've been observing the penal facility there in the distance for some time now, after having followed some rather disturbing rumors. The facility was run by the NCR for a time, but the prisoners overcame their guards and now use the prison as a base from which to conduct raids. Eventually, the NCR got around to putting the prisoners down, but not until they had wreaked havoc on nearby trade routes. Give this to the Elder. My observations are all within. Perhaps he will have a better idea of what this situation portends.
Johnny guitar. Play it again. Johnny guitar. What if you go? What if you stay? I love you. What if you're cruel? You can be kind. I know. There was never a man like my Johnny. Like the one they call Johnny Guitar. There was never a man like my Johnny, like the one they call Johnny Guitar. Play it again, Johnny Guitar.
Don't take another step if you value your life. For what purpose do you approach me? Strange that the Elder should send an outsider, but I suppose he has his reasons. My observations have mostly focused on the small town to the south of here. It was cruelly attacked, its inhabitants slain nearly to the last. That such an act could occur so far west is nearly unthinkable. The NCR has forces in all directions, and an outpost scant miles west from here. That they have not responded to this violence shows either an unwillingness or inability to properly defend their borders, which is telling. I've collected such musings in this report. Please take it to the Elder.
Came back but never Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, troubles by the score. Every day you love me less, each day I more. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, a love that I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day my world will end. Heartache number 3 was when you called me and said that you were coming back.
Sure, just don't treat me like a packed Brahmin, okay?
With hopeful heart I waited for you, knocked on the door. I waited, but you must have lost your way. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, troubles by the score. Every day you love me less, each day I love you more. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, a love that I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day my world will end.
Hey, it's Mr. New Vegas letting you know I've got a new Christmas compilation coming out soon. Nuclear Winter Wonderland. Look for it on holotape. If you like news, you're gonna love our next segment. According to a new report, violent crime is on a sharp decline in New Vegas. The report credits the decline of the population of fiends in the area. In possibly related news, local chem dealers report an overall decrease in their standard of living. In other news, several unidentified aircraft were spotted flying over the RepCon test site by a local crackpot. He spoke to a toy bear near one of our microphones.
It's ghouls, I tell you. Religious ghouls in rockets looking for a land to call their own. Don't you laugh at me. I know a spell that'll make you show your true form. Cave Rat taught it to me.
Promotional consideration for this news program has been paid for by the Ultralux. The Ultralux. Live life in the lap of luxury. More music just ahead.
Sleep, go to sleep. Just lay down your weary head. Dream, sweetly dream. Dream about tomorrow instead. Sleep, go to sleep. Whispering a lullaby tune. Dream, sweetly dream. Swinging with the man in the moon. Why don't you go and take it slow? And don't you know all your lovely dreams will come true? So just close your eyes. Listen to a sweet lullaby. Sleep softly, sleep, and let the world go by.
To the town of our Creel rode straightest he. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. The stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from each lip, and he's here to do some business with.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
In this town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red. Many men had tried to take him, and that many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, though a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 in 19 more. 1 in 19 more. Now the stranger started talking, made it plain to folks around. Was in Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back alive or maybe dead, and he said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red. After Texas Red.
Approach slowly, stranger. If you have no business with me, then go. Then I am sworn to report. I've been dividing my time between the camps to the north and south of here. One belongs to the NCR, the other to a band of slavers known as Caesar's Legion. I was sure the NCR would quickly win, but that has not happened. Instead, the two sides have reached a stalemate, and only occasionally send skirmishers against one another. If I didn't know better, I'd say neither side is confident enough to push for a full victory, which seems strange given the NCR's technological edge. In any event, I've recorded my findings in this report. Please deliver it to the Elder. I'm sure he will find the contents most interesting.
They knew this handsome ranger was about to meet his death. About to meet his death. There was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make their play. And the swiftness of the ranger is still talked about today. Texas Red had not cleared leather for a bullet fairly ripped, and the ranger's aim was deadly with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. It was over in a moment, and the folks had gathered round. There before them lay the body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have went on living, but he made one fatal slip when he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. Big iron.
The Legion will decide that, profligate, not you.
When he tried to match the ranger.
My commander, you ignorant degenerate. Follow me. Make any trouble and you'll wind up on a cross, if you're lucky. Awe, why have you... My orders are to hold Nelson. So far, the enemy north of here has been too frightened to move against us. Why should it concern you? I have attacked the enemy. I led the assault on Nelson with 2 Contrabania against twice our number. It is Kaiser's wish that we hold this position. Our mere presence this side of the Colorado humiliates and demoralizes the enemy. I do not question Kaiser's will. I do not second guess. I butchered this town. Those who weren't hacked limb from limb were forced to throw themselves from the cliffs. 3 more I have just crucified. All this in full view of the enemy's spotters to the north. Yes, our presence here demoralizes the enemy. You are not my Centurion. You aren't even Legion. I do not carry on at your True to Kaiser. Morning.
Hold up there. This area is locked down by the NCR military until we can dislodge some Legion snakes from Nelson. Oh, heck. I've heard of you. Supposed to be a regular hero or something, ain't that right? But maybe you're a little too reputable to get involved in some dirty work for the Republic. Well, I'll be damned. Looks like you've got some dirt in you after all. If you had a few dozen doses of Psycho on you, maybe we could pep those weepy troopers into charging down into Nelson and taking back the camp. But since that's not likely, you could help me take out the Legion's trooper hostages. The troopers won't go down into camp with their comrades at risk. Dirty game the Legion likes to roll out whenever they get a chance. Problem is, Ranger Milo doesn't want to play. If we take out the hostages, they've got squat for leverage. Back at Ranger School, they taught us not to run headlong into a battle when you're outnumbered 10-1. You want to go down there and try to haul those crippled boys off those poles? You're dumber than you look. That's a shame. Well, let me know if you change your mind, or those Legion sons of bitches will be holed up in Nelson for weeks. Either that little head of yours is going to sail into the Colorado courtesy of a Legion machete, or they're going to try to make friends with you. And if I find out you're friends with the Legion, I'll put a lump of lead through your skull as soon as you pop it back up over the ridge. Are we clear? Much obliged.
Got some Dean Martin coming up, talking about the greatest feeling in the world, love. Ain't that a kick in the head? Sure is. Dino, it sure is.
How lucky can one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me. Like a fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? The room was completely black. I heard and she heard. Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? My head keeps spinning. I go to sleep and keep grinning. If there's beginning, my life is gonna be beautiful. I've sunshine enough to spread. It's just like the fella said. Tell me quick, ain't no kick in the head. Ain't that a kick in the head? Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? My head.
Have you had any luck finding the scouts? Good. Let's take a look. If I'm reading this right, it appears that the NCR's grip on this region is nowhere near as firm as I thought. I'll have to review these in detail, but these reports have given me much to think about. Thank you, Outsider. You've become someone I can count on, so I believe I can share something rather confidential with you. I would like you to find the components we need to fix this bunker's air filtration system. I cannot overstate the importance of this task. See Senior Knight Lorenzo for the details. He's the one who brought the matter to my attention, and the only other person who is aware of it.
Welcome back to the program. This is Mr. New Vegas, and I hope I'm not coming on too strong.
If we could just combine the best
put
qualities
on
of
my
laser and
newsman
plasma.
fedora here. Patrons of the Ultralux are questioning whether its pricey restaurant, the Gourmand, is overstating the fullness of its wait list. Those who claim to have dined at the restaurant find the food appealing, but
Good to see you again. What? So now I'm going to have your death on my conscience too? Great. You think you're the first person the Elders trusted with this? He sent 3 of our patrols out looking for those components, and they're all dead. I was the one who supplied the Elder with the location of possible sites where we could find the components, so their deaths are my fault. And now it's your turn. Well, don't say you weren't warned. I won't take the blame when you die horribly. But I can tell you're getting impatient. The items I'll need to keep the system running are a differential pressure controller, a reverse pulse cleaner, and several HEPA cartridge filters. At present, my best guess for finding the items would be to search any of the old vaults in the area. Those vaults were usually built much like these military bunkers, even using the same contractors in their constructions at times. I'll mark the vault's locations on your map. Best of luck to you.
We just had...
Good to see you. Alive, that is. It's amazing that you've found any of them and not gotten gruesomely mangled.
Word that the town of Prim is now part of the NCR. At this rate, they'll be running the whole region soon.
Make me forget my sorrow.
As much as I'm sick of Taggart's VR sims, I have to admit, we wouldn't be combat ready without them.
Love me as though there were no tomorrow. Oh, my darling, love me. Don't ever let me go.
This is Radio New Vegas, and I'm your host, Mr. New Vegas. And in case you're wondering if you've come to the right place, you have. It's just about time to get you some news. The death toll continues to climb around Camp Forlorn Hope, where Legion raiding parties are still chipping away at the NCR's hold south of the dam. In other news, listeners have been unable to pick up radio broadcasts from Black Mountain recently. Most are calling the static, quote, a welcome improvement. You know they say that no news is good news, but I think my program would be awfully dull if that were the case. Sometimes the journey beats the destination, and especially if your spurs go jingle, jangle, jingle, and you meet some nice gals along the way.
What's going on?
Are we really gonna do this? It's open. We could just leave.
I couldn't. Not after that.
We don't deserve to leave. A shining example. That's what it called us. But we were. We did what we were supposed to. Not by a long shot. Anybody would have done what we did.
You ask me? That's exactly the problem. Now let's get on with this.
Wait, people should know what happened. They could learn from it. If there's anyone out there at all, I hope they never have to find out. Ready, Harry? Yeah. No, wait!
I could use a doctor.
Listening to Radio New Vegas, your little jukebox in the Mojave Wasteland. I am Mr. New Vegas, and I'm here for you. This just in. There's word in from Camp McCarran that an attempt to bomb this monorail system was foiled by an alert civilian contractor. Security is being tightened. One more story for you. Scavengers report hulking individuals moving around Hidden Valley after dusk, but have been unable to identify them due to low visibility. That's the news. This is Mr. New Vegas filling in for Mr. New Vegas. Gonna play a song for you right now, and it's about that special someone you find only once in a blue moon.
What a shame.
wait till somebody loves you, and that somebody is me. I love you. Well, you know what that means, folks. Time for some news. A package courier found shot in the head near Good Springs has reportedly regained consciousness and made a full recovery. Now that's a delivery service you can count on. In other news, the death toll continues to climb around Camp Forlorn Hope, where Legion raiding parties are still chipping away at the NCR's hold south of the dam. These headlines were brought to you by Vault 21. Vault 21. Everything's better when you experience it in a vault. In New Vegas, we know the pain that numbers can bring us. Well, so does Guy Mitchell, who's got heartaches by the number.
I've got heartaches by the number, a love that I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day my world will end. Heartache number one, left me. I never knew I could earn this way. And heartache number two was when you came back to me. You came back but never meant to stay. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, troubles by the score. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day my world will end. Heartache number three, and said that you were with hope, Lord, I waited hard, not long ago. I waited, but you must have lost your way. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, troubles by the score. I've got heartaches by the number, a love that I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day my world will end.
Welcome back to the Mr. New Vegas show, the show within my opinion, which I the best looking audience around. Somebody prove me wrong? This just in. Patrons of the Ultralux are questioning whether its pricey restaurant, the Gourmand, is overstating the fullness of its wait list. Those who claim to have dined at the restaurant find the food appealing, but say many tables remain empty. In addition, a big congratulations to a young band of soldiers who shattered NCR records on a combat readiness evaluation at Camp Golf. Go get 'em, guys. You know, I think all news, whether it's good or bad, brings us closer together. Don't you? This next song helped me through a very difficult time in my life, and I hope one day it can do the same for you.
Play it again, my Johnny. Maybe you're cold, but you're so warm inside. you stay. I love you. What if you're cruel? You can be kind. I know. There was never a man like my Johnny, like the one Johnny There was never a man like my Johnny, like the one they call Johnny Guitar. Play it again, Johnny Guitar.
To the town of our Priya rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. The stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from each lip. And he's here to do some business with the big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip.
In this town there lived an outlaw by the name Now the stranger started talking, made it plain to folks around. Was in Arizona, ranger wouldn't be too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back alive or maybe dead. And he said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red. After Texas Red. Wasn't long before the story was relayed to Texas Red. But the outlaw didn't worry, men that tried the forward day. 20 men had tried to take him, 20 men had made a slip. 21 would be the ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. The morning passed so quickly, it was time for them to meet. It was 20 past.
I'm no botanist, but I think this may not be entirely natural.
Folks were watching from the windows, everybody held their breath. They knew this handsome ranger was about to meet his death. About to meet his death. There was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make the play. And the swiftness of the ranger is still talked about today. Texas Red had not cleared leather for a bullet fairly ripped. And the ranger's aim was deadly with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. It was over in a moment and the folks had gathered round. There before them lay the body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have went on living, but he made one fatal. He tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. Big iron, big iron. When he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip.